Hello, and welcome back to Love by Design. And this is the podcast where we decode the energy of attraction, of alignment, and authentic love through the lens of my most beautiful tool, human design. My name is Joan. If this is your first time, I want to say a warm welcome. And if you're returning, I see you, and I'm glad for you to join me here today. So today's episode is a perfect bridge between everything that we've been covering so far and where we're going next. Because over the next few weeks, we're going to be diving into the 12 dating archetypes. These are the energetic profiles that reveal how you love, how you flirt, how you attract, and how you commit based on your human design. But before we pack our bags on that journey, we need to understand the foundation it's built on. So these are the 6 lines in human design. So I want you to think of these lines as the travel styles of your soul. So they show you how you approach life, how you approach love, connection, and everything else you can think of. So what kind of traveler are you on the journey of love? That's the fun part, and that's what we're going to be discovering today. But first things first, we all carry 2 of those lines in our chart, and together they form your profile, and that profile is what I refer to as your dating archetype. So if you're a 3-6 like me, it means that you travel through love by trial and wisdom. You learn from your experiences, and later you can become a guide for others based on what you've lived and experienced. Or if you're 2-4, which most people that I know are 2-4, you're a natural lover, the one who doesn't chase. Love finds you through your 4, which is your connections. And if you don't know your profile, I need you to pause. I need to pause, go to the show notes, go click on the link, and go download your free dating archetype report on my website. That's where you'll see what your combination is and your unique travel style and love. Alrighty, let's pack up our suitcases and journey through the 6 lines of human design. So I want you to imagine that your love life is a trip, a journey, a vacation, right? So you've got a destination, maybe a partnership, maybe emotional fulfillment, maybe peace, but anyway, you've got a map, which is your design, right? And how you travel is your line. So some people like to plan the whole trip like 6 months in advance. Some people just wake up and I feel like Paris today, let's go. Some people will miss their flights, they will lose their luggage, they will be all over the place and somehow still have the best stories, right? Every line has its own rhythm, its own love itinerary. So let's dive into the exact 6 lines that we have in human design. So line 1, I want you to think of these folks as the researcher, the investigative traveler. So line 1s are those travelers who don't even book the ticket until they've read all the reviews. They've researched all the hotels. They've checked all the safety ratings. They've created this color-coded itinerary. I know those folks, right? These people need information before they make a move. So in love, it's the same foundation. They need safety, they need trust, they need clarity before they can open their heart. So they'll study you, they'll observe your patterns, they'll ask you 1,000 questions, not because they're skeptical, but because for them, safety equals love. And that's okay. So in the shadow side of the line 1, because as with everything in human design, there's always the shadow and the gift side of things. So the shadow side of the line 1s is that they can get stuck in analysis paralysis. So constantly waiting for certainty before they take action, before they make a connection, a commitment. And so they're just swirling in this loop of question, trying to figure it out and dot all their I's and cross all their T's before they make that connection or commitment. So that's the shadow. But in the gift side of things, these are those who build relationships that stand the test of time because they start with the truth, because they've spent the time to really uncover what the truth is and not going in with this delusion of what it is or what it isn't, because they have done the research. So that's the line 1 people. Gotta love them. And then we have the line 2. So the line 2, think of these as the natural, intuitive traveler. So for the line twos, these are those travelers who don't plan a thing. They just know where to go. Like somehow they just know where to go. So they usually will wait for a friend's invite or a nudge from the universe. And when they arrive, it feels like, whoo, I was always meant to be here. So in love, they're pretty much the same way, right? They don't chase. They just naturally attract the right people for them because they have this magnetism about them that comes from them just being in their true element. It's just how they are wired. So in the shadow side, this can show up as they like to hide, they like to isolate when they're unsure. So they end up missing opportunities for connection because they're busy just hibernating, waiting for somebody else to plan the trip or invite them on the trip. Same with love. They're waiting for somebody to come out and dig them out of this hermit hole that they're in. So that could be a potential shadow for the line twos. But if you now flip it on its head and look at the gift is the line twos remind us that love flows when you're simply being yourself. They're the ones who don't need to chase because they're magnetic. So they show us that true aligned love comes from you being aligned. And when you're aligned, you are magnetic because love flows to you naturally. So that's so beautiful. Now we have the line threes. So the line threes, these are the experimenters, the adventurous travelers. Remember, I have this line three. So hello to my fellow explorers. So for those of us who have the line threes, these are the people who will probably miss flights, take the wrong turns, and still end up somehow in the best vacations, still end up somehow having the best experiences because we learn by doing. We learn by living. We know what's right for us by knowing what's wrong for us, by experiencing it. So the same thing happens in love as well. So line threes are the storytellers. These are the ones who will just dive in, right? They dive in, they get their heart broken, they jump out, they heal, they rise stronger, and guess what? They go right back in because they have this constant trial and error thing about them. They like to experiment firsthand what's going to work and what's not going to work, and that's how they learn. They learn by knowing what doesn't work. So in the shadow side of the line three, you could start seeing these mistakes as proof that you're unlovable. Because it's like, why every single time I put myself out there, I get into a relationship, it falls flat on its face. And you can get stuck in that, or maybe I'm not worthy of love, maybe I'm not lovable, and you could just spiral, right? But in the gift, this is about transforming every heartbreak into wisdom. Because now you're learning, you're like, what did I do? Where did I go wrong? What was it about this person that attracted me? What lesson did I learn from that experience? And you can gain wisdom from experimenting. So that's the line three. And then we have the line fours. So the line fours are the connected social travelers, right? So line fours never like to travel alone, at least not for a long time. They always want to be in groups. So wherever the group goes, they're there. They travel through community, through friendship, and through trust. So they'll book a trip because a friend recommended it or because it's part of something bigger. But that's how they just roll. Most of the things that the line 4 does is based on connection. So in love, how does this look like for the line 4? So for them in love, this is the person who falls in love with their best friend, or through some introductions, or through a shared cause or a mission or a hobby, some form of meaningful connection. There just has to be a deeper meaning for them to be able to open up their heart and fall in love with the person. And so in the shadow side of this line 4, you could see a line 4 staying in relationships out of loyalty, right? Or out of comfort, because again, community and friendship is so important to them, but we have these things in common, but we have these mutual friends, but we were friends for so long, and then they end up staying because of that. And then if you think of the gift of this is about being able to create a safe, nourishing love that is built on friendship, right? So these are not the people who just want to fall in love, fireworks. No, they like depth. They want the friendship first. So the love is not this fiery, let's just go, it's built on something deeper than just that initial spark and chemistry. So yeah, there's something that the line 4s teach us about love. And then we have line fives. So line fives, think of them as the hero traveler, the problem solver, right? These are the ones who lead the group trip because they're going to plan everything. They have a solution for every single thing. They have the spreadsheets, they know the budget, they know the plan B, they know what flights we're going to take, the connections. They have a solution for every single crisis that can come up on the trip. And they've thought about it too. So they're the don't worry, I got you, we'll figure it out travelers. They always know exactly what to do to solve a problem. You got to have a flying five in your life. So in love, it pretty much shows up the same way because they end up people who they expect this strength from them because again, the line five comes across as the fixer. So they keep attracting people who need fixing, right? They're the ones who want to rescue everyone. They are the ones who have this strength. So people draw that strength from them or project it onto them where it's like, you can save me, you can solve my problems, you can handle every single thing. So I don't have to do anything. And that could be a bit of a challenge because love is not about saving someone. It's not about rescuing someone. It's something that you receive, right? So in the shadow of this line five, you could be that over-functioning person carrying other people's expectations, feeling like you have to fix them, you have to solve their problems, you have to be their hero. You don't, because it doesn't work. We know that, right? And then if you think about the gift of this line five, well, line fives will lead with truth and boundaries, right? Because if you think about these people, they're the ones who know. They're the knowers, right? So they really show others what healthy love can look like because they're looking at things from a bit of a distance. They can see how everything pieces together and they just know. They just know what works and what doesn't work. So line five's gift is very, very beautiful when it comes to love. And we can all learn from a line five. We can learn from all the lines, obviously, but each one is so unique. And once we start to go into the archetypes, you will really be mind blown, I promise you. And then we have the final one, which is the line six. So that's the role model, the visionary traveler. So I'm also a line six. So these are the people who they've been everywhere. Right? These are people who've taken the wrong trains, lost luggage, had airport meltdowns, and they've just seen all the different spots. They know which ones work, which ones don't work. And now they've learned how to travel with grace, right? So the line sixes, they move through the journey of life in three very unique phases. The first stage is pretty much like the line three, which is the explorer. This is just chaos. They're learning through trial and error, all of the mistakes. And then midlife, they become the observer. They start watching and like, oh, okay, let's see what's going on. Why has my life been so chaotic? What's actually happening? And then in the latter part of their life, they now become the sage, the one who models what conscious love should actually look like. So in love, in the earlier years, you can imagine it's just chaos. It is chaos. But when they have now evolved to later in life where they're in their line six alignment, they seek purpose and alignment, right? They've done all the messiness. They've healed from it. They've learned from it. They've sat on the rooftop and observed what is really, really going on. And now they want meaningful love. So the shadow side of the line six is this disillusionment, right? Thinking that love has to be perfect to be right. I still suffer from that, if I'm being honest. Because now you've been through all the years of the chaos and now it's like it's perfect love or nothing else, right? And then in the gift side, it is teaching that real love is evolution. It's not performance because you've learned your lesson. You've seen, you've sat on the rooftop, you've observed what everybody else is doing. And now you can embody what true love should actually be like, which is returning back to who you really are. So I really, really love the lines because when I look at the lines have been probably the most profound thing about human design for me when it comes to how I experience love and how I see the world of love. And when I look at people's profiles, I can usually just tell the story of their own love experiences because we're all different. We're all different. So let me ask you, which traveler are you? Are you the researcher, the intuitive, the explorer, the connector, the fixer, or are you the visionary? And remember, you're not just one, you're two. We all have two lines. One reflects how you see yourself, and the other is actually how others experience you And we're really, really going to go into this when we get into the profile. So both lines together form what creates your dating archetype, right? So look at your lines as your map, your profile, the route that you're here to take in life. And the frequency that you're operating it, so whether it's in the shadow or the gift, determines who's meant to travel beside you, because whatever frequency you're operating on will determine the kind of partners that you're able to attract. So love, like travel, is a destination. It's all about the journey, right? And when you finally understand how you are designed to love, not how the world told you to love, then the whole experience becomes smoother. It becomes more aligned. It becomes more beautiful because you are living in your truth. You are operating the exact way that you were designed, not this cookie cutter approach that says that we all have to love a certain way. And so that's just the introduction into the lines. Next week, we're going to start going into the 12 distinct unique dating archetype series, where we will explore each unique line combination and how that shapes your love story, your love arc, right? So make sure that you go ahead and you download your archetype report, because you need that to be able to really tap into what I'm going to be talking about over the next few episodes. And I promise you, this will be an aha moment for you. Thanks so much for joining me. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you share it with somebody. And if you had any aha moments, reach out to me as well. And if you have issues downloading your report so that you can dive in when we start talking about the different archetypes, reach out to me as well. Okay, my loves, till next time, remember, we do not date by default, we date by design. I'll see you next week.